Several months back, I reviewed the Cox Arms USA Wulf AR-15 chambered in 5.56. After chatting with the owner of Cox Arms USA, we decided it would be awesome to build and review one of these guys in 300 Blackout as the ultimate do-it-all and home defense tool. This model is called the Stalker. Cox Arms USA's mission is to build the ultimate AR. They manufacture their handguards and receiver sets and source premium made-in-USA parts and materials. That's right, this AR consists of every part from the barrel down to the screws, pins, and springs that are made 100% right here in America. When I reviewed the Wulf in 5.56, I was blown away with how soft that gun shot. I'm happy to say that the 300 Blackout version is no different. A super brief and quick history on the 300 Blackout and generally what it is. The 300 Blackout was designed by Advanced Armament Corporation in response to a request from US military. They wanted a round that basically punches harder than the standard 5.56 round at short to medium distances while maintaining the same M4 and AR-15 platforms, magazine capacities, and even the magazines themselves. The 300 Blackout round is basically the same size as the 5.56 cartridge, except the case is a bit shorter, the neck was sized up, and a 7.62mm or .308 caliber bullet replaced the .224 size projectile. I'm a huge fan of 300 Blackout ARs and have built my own versions in the past. However, to have one manufactured with premium components, a sexy 4-color Cerakote job, lifetime warranty, and something that shoots softer than Dianne Feinstein's take on freedom, this AR is purely a winner. Let's look at some of the design characteristics. As stated before, the billet receivers are manufactured in the top secret labs of Cox Arms USA using state-of-the-art machinery that do things that cut, spin, lap, and yada yada. One small yet impactful difference of this AR versus the previous generation are the features and lines that now line up to create an almost monolithic type look, which looks stellar. These ARs come standard with a selection of different barrels and lengths from 10.5 inch, 13.7 inch, 16, and I believe a 20-inch option. So one of my favorite parts about any 300 Blackout is how suppressible it is, and this to me is the way 300 Blackout should run. So this is a Rex Silentium MG7 suppressor, and what I have right here is some subsonic ammunition. That means this travels below the speed of sound, so it's pretty dang quiet and extremely soft shooting. Let's shoot it. You hear that quiet that is? I don't think I'll be needing these. Subsonic 300 Blackout ammunition, suppressed, absolutely amazing. This gun runs it runs it well. It's almost like the sound of the rounds thumping the berm behind me is way louder, and that berm's like 100 yards away. It's pretty cool. Now onto the actual components themselves. I'll also list them for you on the screen since these things are brimming with features. Receivers are made of 7075 T6 billet aluminum, 6061 T6 aluminum extrusion handguard, Elfman SOCOM rated and field adjustable trigger, premium buffer, premium Springco buffer spring, enhanced bolt carrier group with 8620 carrier, 9310 bolt, and CNC ground after the heat treatment for a precise fit, and then it's finished in a black nitride. The barrel is a 4150 chrome moly vanadium 1-in-7 twist with a carbine length gas system. The safety is ambidextrous 45/90 degree selector, which you can actually reverse those. The ambidextrous premium charging handle, extended mag release with relief cuts for gloved hands, all 100% made in the USA. You also have an adjustable gas block, and there is a true no BS lifetime warranty. So on the ammo box, you got 2 stacks of ammo. So what you do is you take this guy and then you scoop it right over the top. You pull those rounds right out of the box, and you take your little plunger and load them right in. So it's real easy, real quick, no mag thumb. That was 20 rounds right there, right out of the box. Thank you, ETS, no more mag thumb. I seem to have a pretty good collection of Cox on my wall. And by Cox, I mean Cox Arms USA AR-15s. Context matters. Anyways, guys, today we are reviewing this guy right here on the bottom. This is the Cox Arms 300 Blackout. This one is known as the Stalker model. Let's check it out. Make sure we are unloaded. Okay, this is what we're dealing with today. And let me say, I've been a big fan of the guys over at Cox Arms USA. Ever since I tested this guy up here, that's the Wulf. That is chambered in 5.56. It has a 10.5 inch barrel, just like this one, except the difference is when he made this for me, I requested that he puts on the dead air muzzle brake with the chemo system so I can actually attach a suppressor to it. If you guys haven't tried 300 Blackout subsonic suppressed, you guys are missing out. It's an awesome experience. It's kind of like shooting a 22, but with some thump and some power behind it. First thing I want to talk about, a big thing between this guy and the other guy on the wall right there is a generational difference. He's done some redesigning on the receivers and on the handguards. Now the lines actually line up, which gives you an awesome monolithic style look to it. So they do manufacture their own receivers. These are billet receivers, really well done, thick, heavy duty receivers. So these guns are extremely solid feeling. The big question is, does this require a break-in? And the answer is sort of. So Cox Arms says that these guys do need a break-in. Now that's only like 150 rounds or so, not a huge deal. But I will also say, between the Wulf and the Stalker right here, I blew right through the break-in periods without any failures. I think, if I remember, with the Wulf, I had one choke up. I want to say it's probably a failure to feed, something like that. And it was with, I believe, steel cased ammo. If I recall, don't quite remember. But ever since then, especially after the break-in period, it was just fine. Now, do you need to break this thing in? Probably not, because I really didn't. I think they're kind of saying, fire 150 rounds through this thing, and if it doesn't work, then we'll look at it. But don't just fire one mag, have some issues, and then send it back for service. Go through its recommended break-in period, help those springs set in, help things smooth out, and then you should be good to go. So I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of break-in periods, and I'm not either, but they're saying this should be broken in. I'm saying neither of the ARs required any break-in whatsoever. So 300 Blackout, I already talked about in the intro of my video where the 300 Blackout came from, where it was designed. So I want to talk about a quick story on how I got this thing. I did a review on this guy a few months ago. I put about 3,000 rounds through the 5.56 Wulf. So after my reviews and stuff, I talked to Michael, which is the owner of the company, and he's like, hey, how's it been running for you? And I told him it's been great. And I actually turned it into my bedside AR, you know, for bumps in the night. He's like, well, what if we were to make you a 300 Blackout version for the ultimate home defense gun? And I'm like, that sounds amazing. Let's do it. So he put on this dead air muzzle brake on it so I could put the suppressor on it. He built this thing for me. You can see it has that beautiful 4-color camo Cerakote on it. No, Cox didn't ask me to give it a glowing review. His request for this review was to be completely honest. If there's any issues, talk to him about it. Let's figure out the issues, and then we can talk about the issues in this video. I can honestly say I haven't had any issues with this guy, and that's probably after about 300 rounds of 300 Blackout. Now, mind you, that stuff's expensive. I don't get free ammo or anything like that, so that all came out of the pocket. And that's about all I'm gonna do for this specific video, but I do have some follow-up videos I'm gonna be doing. Flawless performance, extremely soft shooting gun. Now, when you shoot supersonic 300 Blackout, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of turbulence on it, especially with the suppressor. But when you take that suppressor off, let the muzzle brake do its thing, it's actually surprisingly flat shooting. Now, when you go subsonics and then you stick the suppressor on this thing, it is honestly one of the softest shooting firearms I've ever felt. It feels softer than a 9mm. Amazing. Right up here where the gas block is, it's an adjustable gas block. I have left it at the factory tuned settings because it seems to be perfect. Now, what I mean by that, I was watching the ejection pattern of the casings when I'm shooting. Now, if I'm shooting supersonic, something like that, my ejection is about a 4 o'clock ejection, 3:30, 4 o'clock ejection. When I put the suppressor on it, it goes back to about a 2:30 ejection. And I'm talking consistent. Like if I was to set a bucket up from where these casings were landing, most of them would probably land right inside that bucket. This Elfman SOCOM rated trigger, seriously an amazing trigger. So what's cool about this guy is it's field adjustable. You can adjust it with your fingers if you want, or like a little pocket knife, something like that. You crack the receiver in half, you open it up, you separate the receiver, and then there's a little knob right inside there sitting on top of the trigger. You can adjust that up or down, and each click is a half-pound value. So you can change the weight of the trigger in the field easily, so you can really tune things how you like it. There's a little spring that pops in as a detent, so you don't have to worry about your setting being lost over some rapid fire sessions, vibrations, stuff like that. It's gonna stay at your setting. So really cool design with the trigger selected here. I think this brace right here is probably my favorite arm brace out there, minus the PDW stuff that I really like, but it's very rigid. A lot of the other arm braces, you know, you kind of have like a rubber piece over here, but this is a solid piece of plastic. It's rigid, so there's no flex or bend to it, and it is adjustable as well. Excellent choice with a charging handle, ambidextrous, very smooth, nice and thick. And then of course, like I said, I had a 300 Blackout EOTech right here. The only difference between this and a standard EOTech is gonna be your reticle. Kind of caters towards subsonic and supersonic ammunition for 300 Blackout. So it's kind of cool. 10.5-inch barrel on this guy. And the cool thing is, instead of using a pistol length gas system on this guy, it's actually a carbine length gas system. So it's not as violent as like a shorty, like a 7.5-inch AR pistol or something like that would be. No, it's a carbine length gas system, like an M4, something like that. So very comfortable, very soft shooting. He's got a heavy buffer in here. Quality buffer spring, and the bolt carrier group is a premium bolt carrier group. Absolutely love this gun so far, and just like the last one, it's performing amazing. Even though these guns are not cheap, you have quite a bit of value with the premium parts, the lifetime warranty, all made in the USA, and that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers, and thank you to my channel members. Have a good one.